welcome to another Let's Play by me, Dutch Power Creations. As you can see, I'm gonna play Hardship. By who else than Chibi? I've seen you post a lot of screenshots and stuff like that in Studio Blue server. And yeah, I really like the premises you're going for, the feeling or how you call that. I don't necessarily like storytelling only. I like gameplay too. But if you have games that really are just a story and they're good, I'll be interested in it. So a mixed face, like I don't know yet, but let's see there where we get to. New game settings. Let's first go. Let's see what is message speed. I'll leave that as it is, because probably you want to just checking what you got here. Sync monitor, window skins, blue and gold. Maybe I can adjust that. Let's see. I don't know yet exactly what your game is, but these two, see, for my feeling already, these two would fit your game better. These are just really plain. I would say these two. Let's go for this one. More French, English game like you got. This is too medieval, I think, too royal. But this one, because it's about war and stuff, this look more like French stuff. Let's see the font. I was gonna say default, Morris Roman black. Not much changing here with these two. Guess default is Morris Roman black. Let's see. Dormant. Yeah, the problem with fonts that I know of is that they get bigger or smaller than the regular font, making it, how do you say that, making the text go off screen and stuff. For my game I resized all the fonts to not have this problem. Where is it? This one. This one is clearly gonna be a problem, the black chancery, sorry. Because it's much bigger than the default. You can see the volume, BGM volume popping up like 2 letters. So yeah, that's just a little nitpicky there, but it's ugly when things go off screen or doesn't look like you want it to look. Let's go for the default for now. Alright. Let's go into the game. New game. How many swords do you got? Because this is probably has something to do with your game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 swords. And you can already see some different styles there. So some Arabic sword there on the right. A small sword. 2 small swords. One with a really big hilt. I do have to say I find the sword that's all the way in the front here with the pink ribbon a bit too under-detailed compared to the rest of the swords. And I don't like that middle sword. It looks too big for being in the front. For me. I get that you made it bigger, but again it looks like it's more blurry than the other swords. Like you just increase the size of these swords rather than just drawing them from scratch, and going into detail. But yeah, so far it looks good. All just nitpicky stuff right now. New game, you know how nitpicky I am, so you guys will forgive me. You will. New game. I'm just doing this to help, so. This game is a work of fiction and was inspired by the Haku game series. A name cherry, yeah, I don't know that, so. This game features auto-saving. Please choose a save slot. Alright. Let's do it on the last one. Please choose a name for the main character. Clara. So the main character is a girl. I'm gonna call her not. Oh, snap. Oh, you got. Okay, I get it. You got keyboard. Oh, that's cool. Type in the main character's name, press enter when you're done, or press the arrow keys to switch the menu check entry. Oh, yeah. Alright. Yeah, now it's this. Alright. Was weird that I could type there then. I'm gonna go with my daughter's name here. She's the main character. Better not do something weird to her. To the main character now. Lauren. Okay. Or as Dutch people say, Lauren. Napoleon Bonaparte, inspiring his people with both military and political genius and a revolutionary fervor, became Emperor of the French and master of all of Europe within a few brief years. In 1812, after 15 years of victory, he met with disaster in the Russian campaign. By 1813, defeated by the combined forces of Austria and Russia, Prussia and England at Leipzig, Napoleon was driven to the very gates of Paris, there, as if to await his destiny. Stolen art there. Whoa, what was that? Did you saw that? Something flashed on the lower left of my screen. Like a chatbox or something. Shift is skip. She throws the log. What does this do, log? Oh, you just click it. Alright. Okay. We need to retreat, sire! Wouldn't you say that the other way around? Like, sire, we need to retreat! Our men are getting slaughtered out there! Napoleon spoke while staring out of a window. We only have one chance at securing victory. South of here is a village full of strong, capable men. Recruit them by any means necessary. The soldiers saluted and left Napoleon to his thoughts. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be more like a novel-written thingy. Village out of Fontainebleau. Or something like that. My French isn't anywhere really. My name is Lauren. Oh, that's not the narrator speaking. This is like, yeah. I personally have problems with it when you use something for the narrator and then you use the same box for the same chat box for someone introducing herself. Like, these are thoughts, and the other one was the narrator speaking. So, my name is Lauren Blackwood, and family secluded my brother and I in a small village. My parents died a few years ago, so it has been us alone. So it has been us alone? Is that right? I know you're the native English speaker, but my parents died a few years, so it has been us alone all this time or something? I don't know, it feels like that sentence is cut off or not complete, or it should be set up differently. I don't know, that last sentence. We were taught to stay out of politics and war. My brother had been worried about something the past few days, looking out the window like something was going to happen. Like, don't they have heard that Napoleon has been pushed back when they're in the village next to Paris? Or wherever they are? Like, they know there's an army coming for Napoleon, right? They're not that stupid. Care for some tea? Oh, that's not Lauren. Lauren has how you call that? Blonde hair. And I wouldn't let her walk around like that, with the boobies out and stuff. But she has witch fingers. You see that? She has pointy fingers, like she has claws. All right. Care for some tea? Hey, wait a big minute. Didn't you just say as the narrator that they weren't permitted to go into war, and he is already dressed in a war uniform? He didn't even hear me. I was starting to feel annoyed when he turned to look at me. Cedric Blackwood. So that's Cedric Blackwood. Sister, I want you to hide under the trapdoor. I was perplexed and unsure why my brother was acting this way, so I had to ask, "Why? What's going on, Cedric?" He ignored my question. Instead, Cedric took a bag from under the bed and pushed it into my arms, finally opening the trapdoor and gently urging me inside. "I need you to trust me. When the fighting is over, I want you to head to Britain and find Major General Leslie. He is the only real friend I have left. I trust him with my life." So they are English. "Use my old uniform and dress as a man. It will be safer for you to claim my name and fight for them than to be a lady of the French. We are adaptable and can easily learn new accents. Please understand and do as I say." I paused. I didn't know how to respond. He wanted me to become him? That's a shame. The him needs to be on the next, or the, yeah, you can put a question mark on the next sentence. Or just cut it earlier, like he wanted me to, and then cut it to the next sentence, and then cut the second sentence also there to the third sentence, because you got space on the third sentence. He wanted me to become him? He had taught me the ways of the sword and how to fire a gun shortly after our parents passed. But to actually fight a real person and take away someone's life scared the hell out of me. I wouldn't say that. And also you're telling the player what went on, and you might just let them figure it out while the game is going. Like when she's actually in a fight or something, or needs to use the sword, then say like, "I will use everything that my parents taught me," or something like that, or "my brother taught me," like something like, do it in the moment rather than just forwarding it now, and now I have a big chance for getting it. I had to trust him. He was my brother, so I just nodded. "I trust you, but what about you? What do you plan on doing?" He didn't respond. He hugged me and replied, "They won't kill me. They need something from us, and there has to be a reason they would attack a small, isolated village. They probably found out about our abilities and want to use us for that. We are hard to kill, remember?" Like hell and kill? Because you're reenacting a certain time of history, it would be cool to use words like vanquish and stuff like those words to really how you say that, live the feeling of the era they're in. Clara, like you don't have to go full era like some games do, but because I wouldn't understand half of it, but just few words less. Like hell was a really big thing back then, and because everyone was a believer, and kill is also a word they wouldn't use, the higher class at least. And he looks really sophisticated in his uniform and stuff. "Clara, we will see each other again, I promise." He released me and closed the trap door. I heard footsteps and the door open and close. There was yelling and the clamor of swords clashing and There was yelling and the clamor of swords clashing and gunshots. You already have an end there. There was yelling. Like I would maybe rephrase it like, I heard swords clash and someone yelling. Or I had swords clash. I heard gunshots, swords clashing, like comma, swords clashing, and and people yelling. I think that would be a better sentence structure. I waited a long while, even after things had gone quiet, before finally deciding to leave and find out what happened. I took the bag with me. Why is that shift and lock is right in the middle of this? Like, can that be on the top left or the top right or the right bottom? Maybe the right bottom is the best place, as you already like. The bottom is your reading screen because you have pictures. You want the player to see the picture, and this is in the middle of my screen constantly. So I would say put those two things on the lower right side. It's just information anyway, so. I reached for the door and opened it. There was a small pool of blood. I nearly vomited from the smell. I stepped over to the puddle and looked around. Seeing the bodies of women and children who once lived here, that seeing should be a capital S? Or did you comma that? I don't know. Some of the people I would have even called friends. That doesn't look good. I do think the perspective is a bit off, but yeah, I get the idea here. I will further. How do you do that? I think you need to create more depth with shadows and stuff, darker tints or something on the picture. I don't know. I will further into the town, and I'm not an artist, so I'm just guessing here what would help. Like that sword in the ground there near the green guy. That's that, but that's a really big sword because it's bigger than him and it's next to him. Same with the gun. The gun is almost as lengthy as a whole person there. I walked further into town and passed even more bodies, feeling tears well up in my eyes, but I had to keep moving. I had to keep my promise to my brother. Yeah, that shift and lock is really annoying. I finally reached the entrance to the village and said goodbye to everything I had known, to all my friends and the families who had died. Nah. 1814. On my travels I came upon a merchant. He helped me arrange passage to Calais, where I found a man who continued to help me on my way to Dover, England. So I'm not gonna comment on this art because it's definitely not finished. I found a man who continued to help me on my way to Dover, England. It was in that port town I could search for the commander my brother had requested I find. Ooh. Well, at least you give the idea that you want the picture there, but poof, that was really basic. Yeah, these are just lines. Oh shit, come on. Chibs, if you want me to take your game serious, don't write Hawk Zombie there with... I get the joke, but come on. It's so game breaking if you want people to take some shit serious. Shortly after arriving in Dover port, I was arrested by some... I didn't see that. Shortly after arriving in Dover port, I was arrested by some British soldiers. The ship I had been aboard was found to be smuggling contraband and was assumed the crew and all passengers were part of it. Before I could explain, the butt of their rifle rendered me unconscious. Is that a butt? There's a hilt or something, right? A butt? Don't you say hilt for or something like that? That's not called a butt, right? The butt of a rifle. I don't know. There's probably a name for that. You gotta search that up and use it because that's weird. But or just hit me with a rifle. That's better than butt of a rifle. Chapter 1. So that was a little bit of a prologue. Now it's gonna start. I woke up in a cell and all my belongings were gone. I heard movement outside. A couple of men stood out there looking into my cell. One of them opened the door, and the other told his men to stay down the hall. I noticed he was holding my bag in one of his hands. There was the flash with the chat screen again. I don't think these are chat boxes. You probably just integrate them in the picture or something. At least it feels like that. Where did you get this, Leslie Crawford? He was pointing to the bag he was carrying, and I stood to my feet. My brother gave it to me. I would need it back. This brother of yours, does he have a name? Cedric Blackwood. Ma, I want to name the brother too, because Lauren has a little brother. He's called Mike Blackwood. He stood there without saying a word, then rifled through the bag, taking out the uniform and threw it towards me. I caught it into my hands and looked down at it. What are you doing with this uniform? I didn't know how to respond. My brother wanted me to dress like a soldier, but I hadn't thought of what to do if I'd gotten caught before having a chance to explain. My brother said to go to Britain and find a major general by the name of Leslie, and to use his uniform because it was safer. He was shocked by my explanation, but I wasn't sure why. Is there a reason why he wanted you to find this major general? My brother said he was his only friend and that he trusted him with his life. Where can I find this Major General? I need to talk to him. Before I tell you that, can you tell me where Cedric is now? I didn't know how to respond because I didn't know where he was, only that he had protected me from unknown enemies. I'm not sure. Our village was attacked. He went out and I didn't see him after that. Before... What? Wait, our village was attacked. He went out and I didn't see him after that. He went out is a pretty big understatement, I would say. Like not just went out, like he went out. I heard fighting and yelling, and I didn't see him after that. Like those are really crucial things to emphasize what really happened, not just he went out. Before he left, he told me to go here and find Major General Leslie. When I stopped talking, I didn't realize I had been crying. My brother is gone, and I might never see him again. Oh, the man in front of... like these moments, like you say he's crying, because you show pictures. You're showing a bench and a room now, the prison cell. Like, have the same picture, but add another picture on top of it, with only her face or something and crying, like stuff like that really will add to your pictures. Like add stuff on your pictures while you're telling the story, rather than everything being there already from the start. Keep adding. I hope you don't have all your pictures finished like this yet, but not like this one, but like the first one where everyone was lying on the ground already. Like the picture with the dead bodies on the street. Like, I walked through the streets, I saw puddles of blood, and puddles of blood appear, get faded in, and people lying on the street, and then the dead bodies, and the how you call those things, the enemy equipment, or the equipment gets visible. Like have more happening on the visually on the screen. The man in front of me stepped forward and placed a hand on my shoulder. Here's the deal. If the soldiers found a woman is staying at headquarters, I don't know what would happen. So, I don't really know if that sentence was wrong. What you can do is go with his plan and dress in his old uniform. I will try and help find him as well, but make sure to keep your identity a secret from the other men. I will have my two best men to protect you. They will be the only other men to know your identity. They are also Cedric's friends, so you know he would trust them. He waved for the other man to return. Nah, not return, he's the one in front, so they don't return to him. Come to him. Two young men moved to stand on either side of this guy is yeah, I wouldn't say this guy. Of him, just of him. One had long dark hair and was always scowling. I don't know what scowling is. The other had a big smile on his face and short hair, but had a few buttons undone. The one with short hair spoke. I'm Malcolm, and this guy with the skull is Vincent. This guy here is Major General Leslie Clawford. You know the one you were looking for. So he heard everything from a distance, what they spoke about. That's a bit weird. Like he wanted to talk to them, to talk to her first in private, and suddenly he heard everything. The Major General handed her the bag. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I just wanted to know more about you first. Malcolm, Vincent, take her to her room. Tomorrow will be your first training session. Soon you will be joining the men. Both men saluted and bowed, and then the Major General left. What do we call you? Well, my name is Lauren, but when we were around the other men, you can call... When we are around the other men, you can call me by my brother's name, Cedric. They both nodded. Let's take you to your room. This way, my lady. He bowed while saying that. I hurriedly put the uniform back into my bag and followed the men. I would say his name now, not follow the men. They led me to the room where I would be staying. Yeah, Malcolm was it. My lady, go, get ready. We'll be waiting for you out here. I nodded and headed into the room to change. When I came out of the room, the clothes made me feel very uncomfortable as the new uniforms were very different from what I usually wear. I don't look right. This... What? So you give me a choice, but not... I would say, show me how I look first, and then I don't look right. Does this look right? This is fine. I don't want my Lauren in a uniform, no. This makes me feel so uncomfortable. I also don't look right. Well, what was that? No, it's mostly fine. There's just one thing missing. Come on, what was that I just saw? He led me back into my room, undid my hair and tied it up again. Then he whispered into my ear, "You look so much cuter with this new hairstyle." Does he like boys? Malcolm liked boys, I guess. He just dressed her up like a guy and then he says she looks much cuter. We headed to the courtyard and all the men were training with the sword. Just one sword? Like, nah, I want to train with it. With their swords. There was also some training with a rifle. With rifles, I would say. Not with a rifle. Like, oh, give me that rifle. No, I want a rifle to train with. We're here on a military compound and we just get one rifle to train with. Damn it! It was very different from the way my brother taught me. Several years ago. Oh, we go back in time now. Oh, now you see the like that sentence in the start that she got trained by them is unnecessary if you do this. This is what I meant at first. Like, you can just prompt it when it's needed. Like, this is weaved in with the story. That was just information throwing at the beginning. It was a few years ago, and it was a few days after our parents passed away. I was distraught. My brother came home from the army to help bury our parents. How is that possible? The parents didn't want him to go into the army, right? So he got enlisted without his choice. An army should be cut to the next sentence. And you see that there's a space too much on the next sentence too. Chibi? That's a bit sloppy there, Chibi. He took me out into the fields. He had told me he wanted to show me. What? He took me out into the fields. Chibi, this thing isn't right, right? He took me out into the fields. He told me he wanted to show me something. When we arrived at the location, my brother put his bag down. What? Why do I have the feeling this isn't written well? This is far enough. You're the native English speaker. What's going on here? This is far enough. Far enough for what? And that should be capital F, or is that a capital F? I don't think it is, because it's almost as low as the A. Far enough for what? He rifled through the bag and took out 2 practice swords. For training, I'm going to teach you how to use these. When I return to the army, you will be alone, and I will need you to defend yourself. I was flummoxed. Flummoxed? I don't even know. There's probably a word more people know than flummoxed. Women didn't use weapons or have any need for them since they didn't join the army or even fight. Yeah, you're almost breaking your. I know what you're trying to say here. You're trying to explain that it's normal in that time period that they didn't use weapons. I don't think you need this. Yeah, you don't really need to say this. Women didn't use weapons or have any need for them since they didn't join the army or even fight. Yeah, I would say just. I rather, if you want to do something he startled me. Like say more in the type of he startled me for asking me to pick up a weapon. A woman or something in the trant. I don't know how to say it, but something in the that you say like she's shocked. He is asking or telling her she needs to train to become handy with a sword. Like the story itself should explain what you're saying here. Like women didn't use weapons back then and didn't join the army or even fight at all. Like explain that into the story, and not like this. He noticed I was hesitant. Many men would take advantage of a lone woman living on her own. Having sword training would allow you to be able to take care of yourself. Yeah, as he handed me the sword, I took it. He showed me how a fighting stance looked like, should look like, I would say. How to hold a sword. Oh, there's another end. Me how a fighting stance should look like, how to hold a sword, and how to defend and swing it well. We had practiced for hours until night. For the following weeks, Cedric taught me everything he could teach me about sword fighting and how to shoot a rifle. We had been dueling with swords to see how I would fare against another man. He told me there I was one of the best, even though I had lost. He was proud of me. He lying. In a week you're the best, sure. He lying, dude. Soldiers in back then had training, like years of training too, to become really professional. That doesn't happen in a week. After we have finished, you could say that he said that she has talent, but yeah, that's possible for me. After we have finished, he had set up the picnic, and we enjoyed one last meal together before he set off. He set up the picnic. What a guy! He lets the woman fight and sets up the picnic himself. Maybe you just say, and then we enjoyed the last picnic together. Before he set off back to Britain to rejoin the army. Autosaves. What gets me wondering with the autosaves if there's any part in this game that like has gameplay. Like, why do I have an autosave? I get it for if I want to quit, but do I just close this game? There's just a story here, so it's a bit weird to just have to close the game while you're and then use an autosave to get back. I get the idea why you did it, but yeah, it just feels weird for me because I'm not used to this kind of games too. Maybe it's normal in these kind of visual novels to do it. The Major General had noticed us watching the soldiers training and came over. Starting tomorrow, you will be training with one of our men for the next few months. You will be the first to get to choose who to train with, Major General Leslie, Vincent, or myself. It's your choice. There's no wrong decision here. The Major General has the time to be training a soldier for weeks. I don't know. Sounds a bit too much. So yeah, I guess this is a sort of bonding stuff. I'm not going for the gay guy, Malcolm. He definitely likes guys. Vincent. Yeah, they both don't have shown any affection yet. Only he. So, but I'm not gonna choose him. So I'm just gonna think like, what guy do I rather want to see my daughter with? Yeah, it doesn't have to be a guy that's probably gonna get killed easily like Vincent. He's the soldier. The Major General mostly stays off the battlefield and are rich. Could provide her a happy life, but he'll be busy and busy and busy. So I'll still go for Vincent. She'll have a sad moment, but she'll enjoy herself more, I think. Yeah, this is definitely, how do you call that? Bonding system thing that you showed there. Maybe you want to explain the bonding stuff. And like, go out of the game for a second and go into an explanation screen where you explain that choices matter and that they are bound to a bonding system, and that shows that icon, how you say it, and yeah, something like that. I would love Vincent to help me with my training. Fine, but I won't go easy on you just because you're a woman. I wouldn't want you to. I can handle anything. Try not to cause too much damage. I don't want to have to explain to Cedric how she got injured during one of Vincent's rough training sessions. He's pretty convinced Cedric is alive. After she told him her village got pretty much slaughtered. Alright, sure. Vincent scolded. Fine, I will try and not put it. Oh, fine. I will try and put in. Not and I'll try to not put. Right? It's not and. I will try and. There's no and. I will try to not put any scratches on the poor girl's sensitive skin, so our dear Major General doesn't have to face the wrath of her dear overprotective brother. Oh, it's a douche. I didn't know the Vincent guy was a douche yet. Shit. Good boy, Clara. If there is... Clara? Who's Clara? If there's anything you need, don't hesitate to ask any of us. Clara? Who's Clara? Oh, that's her real name that I changed to Lauren. That's Clara there. That's not Lauren. Another than them bowed. Thanks, I will... Don't worry. I will, don't worry. Chibi, come on! You can't do this to me. I'm okay with the art not being finished, but I'm not an alien. You are. You should definitely get this shit. Thanks, I will, don't worry. Like, there must be a comma there, right? Thanks, I will. Don't worry. Or you don't have to worry about me. There must be. I will. Don't worry. Is you can put that in one. Especially if you're going for a visual novel, your text and your visuals need to entice the player, like have things happening. Like I said, like uh, put things on the picture, so add to the picture while the story progresses. So something happens on the visual cue, and then also your text needs to be on point. It's really important. Those are the only real two things you really need to focus on. Malcolm and Leslie saluted and left in separate directions, leaving me alone with Vincent. Several weeks later, okay, training is done. We have been training for a few weeks now, and I had learned new fighting skills and techniques. After one such training session, I was tired from training all day. Like, now you have this background again, and you did this background for a few years in the past. So, you can't use the background from a few years in the past, probably in a different area, and then just use this picture again if you're not going to that same area and that same time. She was tired from training all day. I was training out in the fields with Vincent. He was a tough trainer, but I learned a lot from him. We were dueling with his sword when his sword hit against mine, and my sword flew out of my hand and landed a few meters from where I was standing. Vincent poured water from his water jug and onto the towel. He walked and stood in front of me and held the wet cloth in his hand. Yeah, okay, that needs to be cut again to the next sentence. Like, what would happen now? Like, show Vincent with a towel, make things appear on the screen here. Your hands looks, your hand, and by the way, she dropped her sword when she got hit by Vincent, but her brother said she was one of the pros. Like, if she was one of the pros, when being hit by another guy's sword, you won't have that if you're a pro. Your hand looks swollen. This cloth should help ease the pain, especially now she has trained a few weeks. And she only trained 1 week. Yeah, I'm a nitpicky in that shit. Your story needs to be really on point. Thanks, Vincent. As he placed the cloth onto my hand, his fingers gently touched my own, but he pulled back quickly as he realized what had happened. His cheeks turned red. Vincent? He turned red? Ah, out of character there. He was like, for me at least, he was like the rough guy. I heard footsteps behind me, and I was like, oh, I touched the girl's hand. He should be, I don't care, I grab your hand. You're too sure I've gone close. Not in a smart way, but like he doesn't care that he touched her hand and she's like blushing and stuff. And then he realized and like, oh, yeah. And then just moves on. Rather than, oh, I'm gonna blush too. You're too sure I've gotten close. What are you two lovebirds already? Malcolm was the one who had walked behind me, and he had a grin on his face. Vincent turned in his direction. Alright, lovebirds already. Yeah, that's way too fast, and yeah, that's no. That's way too fast. Her brother died. They're training her to fight. I don't know why, because she was just going to England to be protected there. Now she's joining the army. That's a bit weird, by the way. Why is she joining the army? Was she going there to get protected again? Oh, they need to keep her. They can't leave. Like, maybe you need to say something like, "We're going to be leaving for the battle against Napoleon soon, so we can't protect you if you stay in England. Come with us, and we will train you for that battle, and we will keep you. We will protect you." More like in that needs to be out there more. Malcolm, shut up. Now tell us, what are you doing here? Malcolm had noticed the blush on his cheeks that was slowly disappearing. His smile then grew wider. Wait! Vincent! Are you blushing? Yeah. Vincent looked a little angry. Yeah, now he's the tough guy I meant. Be quiet and tell us why you are here. Major General Leslie wanted me to check how the training was going. I don't know why you cut that sentence. Like, sometimes sentences you have gone on too far, and the other sentence you cut in half in the middle of the box. Like, probably that sentence could have fixed in one box, in one sentence row. We are doing just fine. We were taking a short break. A short break to flirt with one another? I get it. Vincent picked up some stones and then started to toss them at Malcolm, but he evaded all his attacks. Malcolm, you have had your fun. Now leave before I start throwing things other than small stones. Behind us, I suddenly heard another voice. Are the boys fighting? I turned to see that Major General Leslie came to check what was taking so long. The man was smiling as he was witnessing childish banter. Oh no, it's just friendly banter, sir. Malcolm and Vincent turned towards me and saw Major General, and now Major General Leslie isn't blue anymore, laughing while they were fighting. Chibby! Come on, Chibby! You are an experienced developer, at least in my eyes, so you can't be slacking like that. If there's something you need, Major General, here now is blue again. Oh, right. Yes, Lauren. I need you to run an errand for me. Oh? What do you need me to do? I need some supplies packed up in town. Do you think you are up to that? To the task, I would say. He looked at my hand and knows that it is injured. That it is injured? Yeah, is, of course. If you're wounded, I can always get someone else to handle it for me. That seems like really not a smart thing to do. Go to town? How am I being protected then? And I'm not in England, right? I think I wasn't yet. I was on the borders or something somewhere. I don't know if I'm in French territory or not. If it's dangerous or not. I'm not really knowing what town I'm in to make a choice here. Like, is it safe or not? Stay at headquarters. I think it's best I stay at headquarters. I have injured my hand during training and would like to rest a bit and heal up. Did Leslie and Malcolm just go down? I don't want you guys anyway. Alright, that's fine. Like I said before, I can send someone else if you are sure. I'm sure, thank you, Major General. I bowed and then headed back to headquarters. Both of you keep a close watch on her. Yes, sir. Malcolm and Vincent both bowed and then followed in Lauren's direction. They go into a bedroom? Naughty boys. I went to sleep early that night. No, just go in the same direction. Bit of useless information if they're just going in the same direction. I had woken to a messenger knocking on my door. He had told me that the Major General ordered me to his office. There was something essential he had wished to discuss with me. I quickly got ready and rushed over to his office, knocked on his door until he permitted me to enter. Sir, you requested me? When I entered and looked around the room, the only people that were there was the Major General, Malcolm and Vincent. We got a message from the 2nd Squadron that they were attacked and in need of medical assistance. Not needed some. I have some experience in the medical field. If you think I could be of some help, I will gladly do so. Good. take this map of the location where I need you to go, and I also have supplies you would need to help those soldiers. You will need... Oh, you will need to help those soldiers, yeah. Vincent, please escort Lauren to the map location. To the map location? Don't you just say to the location or something like that? Or to the second squadron's encampment or something like that? Map location seems weird to say. Yes, Major General. Sir, what about me? What am I going to do? Malcolm, I have a special mission for you. We will discuss it later. What? Lauren, we can leave whenever you are ready. I looked towards Vincent, smiled and then nodded. Of course, we should head off then. Vince, keep her safe and don't let anyone cause her harm. Don't call me that, Malcolm. I do know how to do my job. Vincent, Lauren, good luck to both of you. Vincent, please take care of her and be sure to get here in one piece so you can both continue training. Get back in one piece. I picked up the bag and map. I looked around the room and said goodbye to everyone, and Vincent stood by me. We should hurry. We might not arrive until afternoon. I nodded, and we both left the headquarters. We arrived at the location only to find it abandoned, and there were dead bodies everywhere. In the center of it all was a lone man wielding a bloody sword in his hand. Like here is like you begin with this picture, then she tells the bloody stuff, and then you add corpses and stuff and then the guy in the middle, you know, like dude like that. They have visual things going on. Vincent unsheathed his sword and walked towards him. Cedric, is that Cedric? That appears to be the case, but he seems different. Stay here. Cedric had dark circles under his eyes, like he hadn't slept in weeks. Cedric walked closer to Vincent until they were meters apart. If you bring me the girl, then I won't have to hurt you. Bring me the girl? What? Bring me the girl? Bring me my sister, right? I will not hand her over. I will just have to kill you then. Cedric charged towards Vincent. They started clashing with swords. Vincent had slightly more speed than him, but Cedric had more strength. Cedric then sliced at Vincent's arm, then put He put the sword through his shoulder and then pulled it back out and sliced at the leg. Vincent fell to his knees, but after a few moments he just lifted his head. I saw his eyes and they started to glow a yellowish color. Then he charged towards Cedric. Vincent's speed grew tenfold and he was also much stronger as well. It was like he became a different person. Vincent stabbed his sword into Cedric's ribs and then pulled it out fast and sliced at his arms, then his leg. Man, what a butcher stuff here. That's pretty detailed for butchering someone. Cedric fell to his knees and started smiling. He was enjoying getting hurt. What are you? I have never faced anyone like you before. Your speed and strength is inhuman. Didn't the Major General said they were all three friends with Cedric? I can tell you what I am not. I am not a human. With a question mark? He tells her what he's telling him. He's asking him what he is not. He's asking himself what he is not. That's a bit weird. His voice had become much more profound, raspier even. I was in shock from what I heard. If he wasn't human, what was he the same as me? Is that why your eyes changed colors and your speed and strength is different? No matter what the outcome of this battle is, stay where you are. Even in this form, he worked for me, and I felt a little relieved. Cedric got back onto his feet and then charged toward Vincent. Vincent slashed at Cedric, but he had predicted all his moves. Suddenly Cedric struck his legs, arms and stepped through his stomach. Nice. He fell to his knees and then the sword was pulled out. Oh shit. Cedric aimed his sword at Vincent's chest as he stood to his knees. But I couldn't stand to watch him get hurt anymore, so I rushed toward he should pretty much be dead by now. He got a sword pulled in and out of his shoulder, his arms and legs got cut. Now he got a through his stomach. The sword lowered and I felt pain strike through my back and into my stomach. Oh, she's getting killed now too. Then a piece of metal pulled out was pulled out of me. I fell forward and almost fell to the ground, but I 3 times fell, type of fell. But someone grabbed my waist. I looked up and saw that Vincent had grabbed me before I fell. Just grabbed me. I looked up and saw that Vincent had grabbed me. Vincent fell to his... A lot of fell and felt here and felt. Vincent fell to his knees and I fell into his lap. I told you to stay. Why didn't you listen? I'm sorry. I couldn't watch as you got. Couldn't watch you get hurt anymore or any longer. It's fine. Don't worry. You can rest now. Vincent's eyes were back to its natural color. Cedric hadn't moved since striking me down. He was frozen from shock. It seems like he came back to his senses and then he ran off into the forest and disappeared. Shortly after I had lost consciousness, from what the soldiers told me, Leslie told me, Leslie, and there's a weird thing again there, arrived soon after and helped carry me to headquarters. Mine? I guess there should be my name. Lauren and Vincent's wounds healed by the time we arrived back at headquarters due to our superhuman abilities. Suddenly this got really weird for me. Due to our superhuman abilities. Like there hasn't been any thing about her being a superhuman, and suddenly she's a superhuman being. And Vincent too. There were no indications. Like, give more indications or something. Give more guide me into this rather than just BAM! It's in my face and here, they're superhuman. Okay. Like, the whole world building is set around Napoleon and the medieval thing. So you have to guide me into the feeling of... like, you can have something like she got hurt in the village because she trampled over something or whatever. And she hurt herself, but it healed. Like, give hints to the player that something is right. She cut her hand and the next day it's already healed again. Like, stuff like that. And Vincent in the training session saying something about seeing her hand heal fast, like you're like me. Like, give hints. We were both sleeping again at the base. I had not awoken and no one knew when I would wake up. Alright, that's chapter 1 gone. Alright, this is like the demo, guess. Alright, yeah, let's speed it up a little. Let's see if there's anything. Why is it more, this is all, everything is a bit far to the right here. Oh, and it isn't centered right. Like, music is all way to the right and the rest is centered now more. At least not the last White and Kevin MacLeod, but yeah. So yeah, you might want to put the player back in. How do you say that? Put the player back in on the main screen. But yeah, you'll see a black screen while I'll summarize everything here. Alright, there are errors for me, at least, in the typing where you written out stuff. Type errors, grammar errors. I would reword some things. Don't use hell and kill. Do more hinting to the player where the story is going rather than just at the end. Oh, they're all superhumans and they have powers and stuff. Like, roll me into it. Like, give me hints, like I just told you to get to that point. Oh, you are getting me to, but that was weird. Should just be at the end of that scrolling text rather than at the timer interval. Yeah. What else? Yeah, the visuals, of course, because it's a visual novel. It already says it should be about the visuals and the writing. So writing needs to be more on point and more in the setting of the game, I would say. Use some words that are used in that era, but don't go overboard with it. I don't like games that go fully on the era they're in, but I do like feeling the era rather than. But that's might be a personal preference, but I do think some things should be removed, like kill and the other thing. That's the text. With the visuals, I really think when you just add more onto the picture, like a picture on picture, and just have the second picture be in front of the other picture, a whole story that you're telling comes alive visually too, like visual novel, like things happen on the screen, the story evolves on the screen. Yeah, so this is and I would say finish this first before continuing the rest of the story, because chapter 1 needs to be finished to get the player excited for your game and give you a clear understanding if you're going in the right direction or you should just scrap the project. But to be honest, yeah, I liked it, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think it can be done better. I dare to say much better, but yeah, better. It's between those two. But I like the era, I like the setting, I like where it's going, I like the choices. They have some explanation there with the bonding system that you put in place, and yeah, I think if that's more clear for the player, then it will be better. And functionality also, the CTRL lock and the backspace, just put it in the lower right corner. Why was it in the middle of the screen? And I would just still keep it in the lower right corner. Why not? Don't. Oh yeah, of course you're changing from left to right position at a certain point. Yeah, just after you finish the first part, then the prologue part, then you let it disappear. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm thinking like, did I miss something? But I think I got everything for you. So yeah, I think I gave a lot of feedback. I hope some things will help you. Anything that doesn't fit your game or the vision you have for it, just throw it into the garbage. Just my opinion on how things could be improved. But as I said, yeah, I liked what I had here. Just wished it was more to my style, so my personal preference, so I would enjoy it more myself. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the game, and see you around.